Alrighty, I wanted to start by saying something that I noticed last night on the chart. So yesterday at 8:30 my time, I was saying, so this was after FOMC release, I was saying still fairly bullish. As of right now, I need to see overnight price action, potential turtle soup at the first poke into the daily before we sell back off again. So I was bullish at this point because we had this 1 hour imbalance, sell side of the curve, buy side of the curve up to these highs. Um, that's what I was looking at. And so if we zoom into the 15-minute quickly, we can see that was around here, and price ended up continuing this model and taking buy side overnight and in London session. So that's set up quite nicely for what I'm looking at going into New York today. So some daily again. Obviously there is this daily gap that opened up from here to here, and we've filled it, and yesterday rejected. I'm looking for this to still hold bearish, as there's no reason otherwise yet, and I have got the new day opening gap still on. We have filled the new day opening gap, which is marked by the blue imbalance. Confusing, I know, but it is, because this is the imbalance, but this is the new day opening gap. We have filled it and rejected. Zooming in again, yesterday we rejected off of that, and then back to a 1 hour imbalance, and then FOMC was that driver back up again. And well, we have taken buy side liquidity, taken this high and put in an SMT with ES, and we've had a change in the state of delivery from it on the 1 hour. So I am definitely more bearish today. I have no reason yet to be proven bullish. We are holding these imbalances, but we're in a daily bearish. We've had SMT at the highs. I am more bearish today. Definitely more bearish. And going into the open, what I'd want to see is a manipulation leg higher first, maybe another SMT at these highs before we sell off down to the internal low, and then down to these lows down here, which is back within this 1 hour imbalance which held yesterday. We're clearly still generating sell side, generating sell side, generating sell side. And we actually made yesterday, I know it's on the 1 minute, but we've got low here, equal low here, and then also on NQ at this time. If we just go back, I'm not sure why it's not on micro NQ, don't ask me that question, but three relative equal lows right here. So that is what I'm looking at going into open. Definitely more bearish. Definitely would like to see some sort of sell side of the curve today. I will be paper trading if you are unsure as of why. Well, I'm paper trading. I am paper trading because of this, what I said in my Discord server, which is linked in below. But I'm just having trouble with my conviction right now. I've requested a payout from my XFA, and will be purchasing a challenge February 10th, as I'm having this week off while I'm on holiday. So you can't see my cursor. Having this week off while I'm on holiday. Challenge starts Feb 10th, and I took a $750 payout from XFA. So paper trading today just to build conviction back up before my week off, as I'm having the week away from the charts while I'm on holiday. So yeah, paper trading today. Peace. Okie dokie. So pretty much my bias has played out literally exactly what I'd said. But after I finished making the pre-market video, I overanalyzed so badly, and I'm glad I've made that mistake because it's something I can learn about. Obviously, I am on paper, so it doesn't really matter. The loss, obviously, it is a loss that I took. It's a trade that I executed, so it does matter. But again, it's on paper for a reason. I'm on paper to build conviction back up. And honestly, my conviction is built up because my bias played out how I wanted it to. I said I wanted to see this high manipulated, and then let's sell off to internal low, and then maybe we go further. We don't know. And that's what happened, but I did a bit of a problem. I overanalyzed a little bit. I took a short quite early on, when I'm sure a lot of people actually took longs where I shorted, or like took longs here. So the RR wasn't good on this trade, which tells me it's not a trade I should take. Obviously, the trade gives you, the market is run by an algorithm. You can't tell me it's not. the trades that are given and that are your setup give good RR. I'm fully confident this is the trade to take on my bias. Whether it's something I actually take, I don't know. We'll have to obviously we'll go over it in a minute. But what I did take was after I filmed that video, I noticed we had an SMT here. In this 15-minute inverse. We're an SMT in that 15-minute inverse, and we inverse this 5-minute gap, 9:20, and pull back to it before open, and also the 1 hour change in the state. And then at open, so we inversed it, then open, we came back up, and we put in another SMT right here, right at open, with ES. If we go on to the 1 minute on ES, and on to the 5-minute. There was, firstly, I think it's that SMT. We had that SMT to those highs right there. And then literally at open, ES comes up, takes them, NQ doesn't. So there was an SMT at the time. And then from that SMT, that's your change in the state. And there was also an inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute. Oh my God. That's where I entered in. So the 5-minute got inverse. We pulled back to the 15-minute inverse, put in the SMT. SMT at open. There's the 1 minute change in the state. I entered there with my stop at the high. It's a big stop, and my first TP was there. It's not even a 1-to-1, which is the first issue. And then my second TP was there at the standard deviation. So problems with this trade, as you can see, here it is on the Notion. I screenshotted it as I got stopped. SMT there, and SMT there, and an SMT there as well, which was obviously happened after I entered. But problems with this trade, it didn't give a good R. Good trades will give you a good risk to reward. Good trades will give you a good risk to reward. If you're planning it and it's not a good risk to reward, just don't take it. So that's a very important lesson from today. The internal low was very close. The entry was not clean. There was no clean place to put a stop. If I entered off the change in the state, it would have been nicer and I would have took it. But because I entered on the inverse, I would have entered on the change in the state. I should have left my order at the change in the state, stop at the high, forget the inverse. That is a good trade in my opinion. That is a trade I would take over and over again and lose. Why? Because we had external buy side taken and a 1 hour displacement from it, and the SMT at the high. So the 1 hour displacement validated that 1 hour SMT, and then we come up again and put in another SMT, displace, pull back, another SMT, displace, pull back. That's the thing. But again, time wasn't aligned either. It's not in the macro. Time then price. So yeah, I did overanalyze by looking at this SMT and thinking, oh my God, there's no reason to go higher anymore. Wanting to catch the open displacement. So it's a trade that I would take again, probably, but taking the lessons on board from this trade, I wouldn't take this trade again, purely because the RR still isn't the best. It will give the good R trades. So let's talk about those SMTs got completely ran through. As you can see, ES just legged up and then took this level, this internal high, same as NQ. But the SMT that we were basing our high time frame bias off of never got ran through. We never took that buy side level. I said in the Discord, if we take 611.5, I won't take a short. The short bias is invalidated. And we didn't take it. So that this SMT still held. Did that twice now. That SMT still held, and that is the reason why the bearish bias still holds. If you waited for the 950 macro, that is right here. So when the macro happens, that's when price starts to deliver to its sell side. We see we generate lows. This was more generated lows, morning manipulation, and then the sell-off. And then since that objective has been hit, we've been chopping. So obviously, I didn't take this on the paper trading, mainly because I was on the Discord talking to people about the trade. I took the trades, they took the bias, whatever. This was my bias. My bias played out perfectly. I said I wanted to see this high manipulated, and then we just placed to the internal low. So on the 2 minute, the 3 minute, it wasn't clean. There wasn't a clean imbalance yet when the macro opened up. So I went on the 1 minute, there was lots of imbalances. So I went up to the 2 minute. And on the 2 minute, there was this clean imbalance right here after taking this high. The SMT still holding. ES, same thing. SMT still holding, same high taken. And we inversed the 2 minute gap. And that in itself could have been an entry because that candle closed at 9.52. So the 9.53 one. I can't do the maths. This candle closed at 9.54, sorry. So yeah, I'm stupid. So the pullback there, stop at the high, target that sell side level. Again, that's 2.41. When the trade is good, it will give you, there's probably be TP1 as well anyway, which is still 1.97. When the trade is good, it will give you good RR. And then equally, what I could have done after that is then, because there was no change in the state, wait for extra confirmation. So maybe wait for a pullback to this 1 minute gap. And then enter there, stop at the high. Or this one, that would be really good. But realistically, it would probably be this one. Stop at the high, target into. And that's a 2.99R trade. Or stay on the 2 minute and then use this tiny 2 minute imbalance right here. Enter right there. Stop at the high, because 2 minute inverse, 2 minute gap, straight down. But would I have taken something like this? Probably not, because there was no change in the state. This is not a change in the state delivery because this is not a manipulation leg. If ES took this high, which it didn't, if ES took this high, and then we put in an SMT here, that would then be a change in the state. But it's not. The change in the state is there because that's the last series of up close candles of the manipulation. If that's a change in the state, pull back to it, and then at that point, where do you put your stop? It's not a trade you want to take. So, would today have been a trading day? Who knows? Did my bias play out? Yes. So, honestly, I'm happy with the day. And I paper trading for a reason. The risk doesn't matter, but I put on 4 contracts, 0.79%. I lost $378 because I was imitating on a challenge. I would always risk $400 per trade. And well, if I'd done that on this trade, it would have been how many micros? 5 micros, and I would have made what, 1100. But if who would knows if I'd have taken this trade? It doesn't really matter. But that is the trade. That is my bias playing out, as I've said. And I remember I was short because we were in this daily gap. ES had filled the open gap already, so it has no reason. And there was this SMT at the time, and I said I wanted to see this high manipulated, and then we sell off. And that's what happened. We continued higher, I got chopped up in the morning, and then we took that high, and then we sold off. So happy with the day. My bias was correct. I've also got marked out this just low, as this would have been extra targets because it's a swing low. Would have been extra targets for the shorts, and then those equal lows down there, as I said before, in that 1 hour gap. So, oh, that blue. So, you know, happy with the day. Yes, it's a loss, but it's a loss that I'm happy that I've learned from. You know, I've learned from this loss. It wasn't a high quality setup because the RR was really bad, but I think I built good habits. And then mistakes I can learn from. So I'm happy with the day. It was on paper, so it doesn't really matter. As you can see, once the objective has been hit, we've taken that sell side level. We have just sort of chopped around. There's no way you can draw a standard deviation from, except from there to there. And the equal lows line up with that. So that's what I'd be looking at today. For the rest of the day, just seeing if we do sell off down to there. But It is now 10:30, so any whatever price does now doesn't really concern me because I'm not in a trade and I wouldn't take an entry this late anyway. So that is me done. Peace out.